Hi guys, Little Lady here. Right, so it's another part of the Christmas one for me. I'm going to be doing the Christmas ham. So we'll cook it first, then we'll glaze it, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the leftover stock as well. The first thing I want to do is talk about the type of ham that we're going to use. So I'll bring you down and I'll show you what it is that I've got. Right, so at Christmas we have a family round all on Christmas Day. So the rest of Christmas is mainly only me and Ian. So I never buy the big hams that you can get from the supermarket because it would just go to waste. Now the two types of ham I would normally use would be something like this, gammon joint. However, there's not a lot of fat on there. So what I like to do for this is to go to the butcher's, and I got this gammon shank. And it was £4, but as you can see, it's got a covering of fat and skin, which means that you're going to have the nice covering of fat underneath there. It's also got the bone in, which gives a lot more flavour as well. So I'll keep that for a different recipe. And this is the one we're going to use today. Like I say, that was £4. The smallest one I saw in the supermarket, because I always bring them out for Christmas. And I think the smallest one was double the size of that other one, and it was 12, 13 quid. And to be perfectly honest, we just wouldn't end up eating it. So like I say, that's what I'm going to be using for the Christmas ham. I have a couple of onions, just really small onions. And I've got some sage here. It's just the dried sage that I've got. I've got a sprig of rosemary. I've got some thyme. I have a couple of bay leaves and some peppercorns. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this out of here and get over to the stove. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, for the glaze, I have English mustard, runny honey, and optional cloves. We do like it, but it's a very, very strong flavour that. So, you know, if you don't like it, just leave them off completely. If you don't have any honey, don't use good honey for this, because literally you're going to burn it. I'm just getting this today. I've also done the leftover cranberry sauce with the English mustard as a glaze as well, which is absolutely gorgeous. But today I'm staying old school and I'm doing honey and mustard. Right, so I've just popped it out of its plastic sleeve there, and I've just popped it in my pot. Now you can do this in a pressure cooker, but I prefer to do this in the pot, just slowly simmer. I just think all of these aromats that you're putting in, it just does penetrate a lot better. So I have that. I have the peppercorns. I've just cut the onion in half, but I haven't bothered peeling it. Both of them. I've got the sage, the thyme and the rosemary, and the bay leaf. So I've got a big pot of water here. Just cold water straight out the tap, or bottled, wherever you are. And get a little bit more. So I'm just going to bring this up to a simmer and simmer that for about an hour and a half. Don't forget, it's going to go back into the oven as well once it's all done like this. So, you know, it's a big chunk of meat there. So we'll bring you back once this has had its time. Right, so it's got about 20 minutes left on the ham. Couldn't think of what all I was making there. So what I want is, I want a tablespoon of English mustard. If you like it more mustardy, do more. If you're using a big ham, I would double this. Okay. And I want 2 of this runny honey. Now I think it's going to have a cap in because it's just a new one yet. And please, I didn't look silly and try to start to squeeze it before then. I did the mustard first because obviously this is squeezy honey, which is so much easier. And the second one. So you're going to have it a bit hot, sweet and salty from the ham, which to me is like a perfect combination. And then just mix those together. It's as simple as that. Now that'll be enough to do our ham. Like I say, if you've got a big ham, if you've got a big family coming, or you know, you're going to know that you're going to use it and get a big one, just double the quantities. So once it's mixed together, do like to have a taste. Has it got enough heat? Oh, yeah. Is it sweet? Yes. Oh, I've got a bit of heat. That will tamper down though while it's being glazed. So we'll wait until this is all done and we'll come back and we'll start preparing the ham. Right, so that's had its time now. So I'm just going to take it out. Oh, see if I can get it with the tongs and this. I'll drain off a little bit. Sorry if you get a bit steamy. I'll put it on my meat board. I'll move that over here. So, to be honest, it's too early for this to be an actual Christmas ham that we're going to have. So we're going to be having this for our tea tonight. But this stock here, absolutely brilliant for soups, stock for gravies, anything like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back on and I'm going to do some roast potatoes. Just done the, there's one gone. The potatoes, and I'm just going to blanch them in here and give it an absolutely amazing flavour and parboil them, and then I'm going to roast them in the beef dripping. So we'll come across to the other side and we'll have a look at this ham. Right, so that's been on the board just for a couple of minutes and I'm going to get rid of this skin but leave some of the fat on. To be honest, because it has been simmered for such a long time, the skin's no good. So I'm just going to keep on doing this and get rid of the skin. Right, so what I've done is I've got my little tray and I've lined it with kitchen foil. If you do anything from this, then make sure that you do that. Because once that honey starts to caramelise, you'll never get it off the bottom. So all I'm going to do is same as what I would do with any ham. Yes, it's not as big and it's not as elegant as one of them big pieces of ham is. But if you're on a budget or there's not many of you, this is perfect for me and Ian. Right. So now I'm going to put that in the tray and put it in the oven. In fact, I'm using the Kasori Grand Zone, the dual blaze one, and I'm just going to crisping that off on 200 for about 10 minutes and then we'll start to glaze. Right, so that's had that time in the air fryer and as you can see it's starting to go lovely and golden. And I'm going to put some of this glaze on. Now I find it easier to put the glaze on first, all the way on the fat, and then add in the cloves. I'm not going to put too many in because it is a small joint, but just put them in there. Little diamonds, what you've done. This is a bit of a labour of love. But because you had that crisp on the fat first, it adheres to it so much, oh, dropped it, so much easier. My roast potatoes are done, so what I want to do is I want to strain off the stock, put it back in the pan, and I'm going to freeze that tomorrow. I will get another one of these and do this closer to Christmas time. Put one over there. I mean, the butchers that I go to, I don't get there very often, but when I do, he's nearly always got these in. I mean, to be honest, I could go and get one and put it in the freezer, because he always says that they're fresh, they're not frozen, that he gets. Mind you, me and Ian went into town today just because we needed to do a couple of bits and pieces. So we went in to the Granger market and went into the butcher's there because Ian's doing a slow cooked beef Sunday dinner tomorrow, which I'm really looking forward to. And I couldn't see any ham hocks or anything in that one. I was going to get a couple more out. I said I wasn't putting any on. Oops, there's a bit too many there. But there's more fat than I actually realised on here, which is excellent. So I'm just going to keep doing this until it's all done, then back into the oven for 5 minutes, bring it out and glaze it again. There, it's had 5 minutes and I'm just going to dab it on this time. So you can see it's really starting to coat lovely. Spent all that time putting the cloves in, that's why I'm dabbing it. Put it on some of this fat as well, why not? Twist it around a little bit. So you can see it starts to melt as soon as it goes on with the heat. And if you see in the bottom there, that's why I was saying about lining it with the foil or baking parchment, whatever you've got, baking paper. Right, I'm just going to do it in 2-minute blasts because it's in the cassoulet, it seems to be going very fast. So I'm just going to do that 2 minutes and I'll do probably glaze about 2 or 3 more times. Right, so I've used all of the glaze, I've done it every 2 minutes. Now it's literally just come out, you can still see it bubbling. It's just a matter of leaving it until it's cool. We're going to have it tonight with some roast potatoes. I've got a camembert in the fridge, some pickles. I don't know if I'll use the camembert, to be honest. Some pickles, we've got some pickled onions, and just have it as a proper snacky. But I'll bring you back once it's cooled a bit enough to eat, and I'll show you what it's like when I cut into it. Right, so I've left that down. I've got one of the roasties, and if you look at that, that looks absolutely magnificent. So they were parboiled in the stock left from this, and it was also cooked in beef dripping. So we're going to have this a little bit later on, but I just want to show you, look at that, for £4. That's going to be more than enough meat for me and Ian. So what I want to do is, I'm going to take a couple of these cloves out, just so I can carve it. It's already imparted its flavour. Oh, lovely and sticky. Not sticky, it's sticking to my finger. Right, and the fork. So I'm just going to go through here, hold it down. Look at that. Look how juicy it is. Look. Gorgeous. Right, so we're going to have this a little bit later on, but I am going to taste it for you. Just so you know, I'm going to move that out of the way for now. Doesn't look much, but hey, at the end of the day, it's just a taste. So I'll get into position and I'll come back. Right, so the first thing I want to check is this ham. Crispy, lovely outside. So I've got a bit of the ham there, look. And some of the crispy bit that's come off, so that's going to go first. That mustard has come right down so is the sweetness of the honey. That also come down, but you can still taste it. Bit of the ham. It just melts. I always say this, I don't know why we don't get one of these and do it in the middle of the year. Why do I have to wait for Christmas for it? So, you hear that? That's the roast potato. How crispy. Still see the steam coming off. That is absolutely delicious. Crispy, fluffy. In fact, get the other side. Oh, hot. See how fluffy and everything it is on the inside. That's really hot. You can taste all the herbs and everything that was in that water. But I have to say, that is the star of the show. Look at that. Crispy outside, soft, gorgeous middle bit. Oh, sorry about that. I have to use this. Right, so if you like the look of that, it's cheap, it's easy to do, you know, it's a great alternative to, you know, packet ham or whatever. If you can afford and you're going to use a big massive ham, then that's brilliant. Enjoy it, do it the same way. If you can't afford a massive ham, which to be honest I can't, and if I did, then it would just go to waste, because we would be eating ham from breakfast and tea. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there. We're going to have sat down for a little while, come back and have this later on for tea. It does look like we're in the dead of night, but it is the dark nights now, so you know, even at 3:30 it's really dark. So I'll see you later, and thank you everyone. Love your comments, everything. So keep them coming, and let's wait till the next Christmas video.